lot of us in the firearms community are also concerned with disaster preparedness, things like that, being prepared for earthquakes, natural disaster, anything that may make you stranded in your home for long periods of time without access to outside sources for food, water, etc. Well, when we're planning for these things, we try to plan ahead. We try to think all the things we're going to need. We try to get our food. We try to get our water. But there's always things that we forget to do. Well, one of the things I forgot about, and I didn't have any plans for whatsoever, is I got all this dehydrated food, got all these barrels of water and bottled water stocked up, all this stuff stocked up, but I didn't have anything to cook in the food to make it more flavorful. And one of the more flavorful things that I love in life is butter. And I didn't have any butter, because one of the things about butter is it doesn't store for very long if you buy store-bought butter. Well, I found these, which is it's Red Feather brand butter. I was over in Portland yesterday at the Portland Preparedness Center. It's one of our local stores for, you can buy anything you might need for disaster relief. You can buy stored food. It's where I brought all my dehydrated food. It's where I buy most of my prepping supplies. It's a really nice place to go. If you're in the area, I suggest you go over there. Well, I was talking to them about that, and they gave me a sample of this butter to try, and I was like, well, great, because I'm going to come back on payday and buy a case of this, so I can have a case of it, stick it out in the refrigerator, out in the garage. Now, the shelf life on this, the company guarantees it for a minimum of 2 years under pretty much any storage means, but conditions, I should say. But they say it'll last under, decent conditions. 7 years is the standard shelf life on it. And I've seen reports of it lasting and still being good 10, 15, 20 years later, canned butter and stuff similar to it. As long as the can isn't broken, it doesn't swell, it'll usually be microbial safe, way past what they recommend, the 2 to 7 years. Now, I probably will buy a case, and then at the 5-year mark, I will donate it to a local food pantry and then buy another case. That's just the way I like to do. That's the way I rotate my supplies, and that's a good idea actually. Like, I bought all my supplies. Like, say I pay $1,500 for all my dehydrated food. It's good for 20 years. Well, 10, 15 years into it, when it's still got 5, 10 years on the shelf life of it, I'll donate it to a food bank. I get to write off the purchase price of all that product on my taxes and then buy new stuff. So that way my stuff's always fresh. It's always current. I'm not going to get down to the end of the expiration date and have something go bad on the day my stuff expires. It would probably still be good, but why take that chance when I can cycle through? When you think of spending a couple $1,000s every 15 years, that doesn't really come out to a lot of money a year. It's not hard to put that away. So I'm going to go buy some of this butter, but I wanted to test it first. And he gave me this can here, so I'm going to open this can up and test it and see how good it is. Okay, let's get it open here and do a quick little test of it. Okay, the color and consistency are really good. I don't know what I was expecting. I was kind of expecting to pull the lid off and it be a little separated, some oil, some goop. But this just feels like really nice, good butter that you'd buy at the store. And it's nice and soft because it's canned. If you stored this outside of a refrigerator, this would probably be nicer in some ways than butter out of the refrigerator. But I don't know if I'm going to refrigerate it or not. I have to look into whether it's better to refrigerate or just keep it in the cool temperatures of regular storage. But let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Yeah, so far so good. Let's put it down here and put it on a little bread and see how it tastes. Now, I'm not someone to just sit around and eat butter on bread, but I am familiar with what good butter tastes like, surprisingly. So let's see this. That is actually very good. That definitely tastes pretty good. I mean, as good as any butter I've ever tasted. So yeah, I would definitely going to buy some more of this. Come payday, I think I will buy me a case of this stuff. Because if you're going to be cooking, I like to fry my rice after I cook it, so I like to fry it in butter. Cooking things in oil doesn't add a lot of flavor to things, so butter is much better for me as a cooking agent. And plus, you can just put it on stuff to make stuff taste better too. So good investment here. If you ask me, I'll definitely be spending the money to get a case of this to keep. And then I'll just need to research the best way to store it. But so remember things like butter. It's hard to forget. It's easy to forget things like butter, and they're usually hard to store because they don't last forever. But this canned option is a great option, and I will definitely be buying some more of it. You ain't even my real dad.